land of smiles and sanity, has long been a haven for travelers seeking both adventure and relaxation. The tourism industry today in the Gambia started in 1965 with the arrival of 300 Swedish tourists. This documentary pays homage to Honorable James Alkali Gaye, a Minister of Information and Tourism during the era of President Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, a dynamic force in the Gambia's history and a driving force behind the growth and transformation of its tourism sector.
I am Honorable Alkali James Gaye, former MP and Minister of Information and Tourism. I was born and bred in Sintet Village, November 20, 1950, in the Fonyi Jaro district, a very important historical town. Even during colonial days, it used to be a trading center for most of these companies that were operating in this country. So my father happens to be a shop assistant at that time and got married to my mother, who is a citizen of Sintet. And that's how everything got started. From there, I went to St. John Bosco School. It was built by the Roman Catholics.
Where?
In Sintet.
In Sintet?
Sintet School, yes. Okay. Was initially built by them. And they named it after John Bosco. Okay. Up to today, it bears that name. And then from there, I went to St. Edward's. That's Buyam School. That's another primary school built by them. The headquarters of the Catholic mission was in Buyam. And they built a school there and named it after St. Edward's. That's where I completed my primary 6 and sat to my primary school leaving certificate examination. From there, I proceeded to St. Augustine's High School, where I spent 5-6 years, up to O-level, sat to my O-level. After my O-levels, I entered the teaching. I started my unqualified teaching experience in Farafenni Primary School. And later, as a qualified teacher with the training program, 3 or 4 years in college. I taught in Bondali, taught in Kavuta, and taught in Pakalindi Middle School. From there was this opening to go to Milti Magai, Higher Teachers College.
Oh, okay.
So I applied for that scholarship also, and I was awarded the scholarship. I went to Milti Magai. I spent another 3-4 years there. Came out with distinction. I had a first class honors as a diploma at that level. I had teacher certificate. I came with first class. And we were 22. But I'm happy to tell you that my results were outstanding.
Wow.
And immediately I graduated from there, I came home. Fortunately, there was a big vacancy at the headmaster of Farafenni, Esabari at that time, had an accident on his way to come down to Banjul for a weekend. So I had to go straight to Farafenni to take over that school. Yeah.
But you know, as a youngster, okay, you might have a dream that, okay, I want to become a lawyer or I want to become a nurse or something. What was your dream job?
Well, I never had a dream job, no. I never had any of those type of things.
What makes you to become a politician?
I said there's selflessness, one of the virtues that I had. Because I was, at that stage, I was also president of the Young Farmers, organizing young people of my age. We had farms, we used to go and do farm work. Coincidentally, the MP of the area died, and the elders came and said they felt I was one of those educated people in the village. Would I be interested? And I offered myself.
You've made mention that you replaced a particular politician who passed away. What was the name of that politician?
He was Ismail Ajame. We call him Bidolf, originally from Kalaji. As a result of his death, there was this vacant seat, so I applied to be an MP. But I lost subsequently to Andy Jame. But then there were other factors. There were others who were saying, no, he is not a Jola. He may not be the appropriate person.
You've mentioned something which is something like a tribal issue, isn't it?
Yes.
Concerning politics in those days. Because we understood that it's affecting the Gambian politics till date. So how did you tackle that?
Those days, it wasn't there. But my competitors I had people who were challenging me. Among them, people who are interested like me in politics. And most of them were Jola boys. So they used that against me to convince their people not to vote for me. And I lost because of that. Because I went with Henry to be selected. Unfortunately, the very day they selected me in the evening, he slept in Buyam. And then started using that concept. So he's not a Jola, until I lost the election. He won the elections. Yeah.
But you kept on trying and you finally got what you want. How did you tackle that Jola issue?
Well, actually, from the background, my father was very nice to the people, regardless of whether he was well off or not. So these things motivated me. At the village level, I had a leadership kind of role, where intrinsically now I can say yes, it was going on, but I didn't know that I would become a leader. But some kind of leadership qualities were in me. Go wherever I am, the boys are there. My mom used to tell me that. But I was encouraged by Dawda. He said, young man, you still want to go in for the second time? I said, yes, sir. My mother's parents were great people in this country. If you read the history of Sankandi, you would have had the role that my mother's side played in 1900 war, the Sankandi War. With Bateli. Yes. So people know that this boy is not what they are talking about. Some of them even went to say that I am from Senegal, from Kaolack. Kaolack la jógee. But I didn't mind that. I said no, I was determined. I kept on doing good things, helping the people, and eventually I won the hearts of men and women around the area, and I won the election massively against 5 people.
Against 5 people?
Yeah, I had Kausu Jiba for NCP. I had Doi, one chap from Bondali who went for Doi, 5 of them.
As the former Minister of the Gambia, Minister of Tourism, what strategies and initiatives have you applied in promoting the Gambia as a prime tourist destination?
Well, there are many factors. Gambia has natural gifts. One of them that I used was the smile. The smile.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to remind you, you may have had that. The smile.
Smiling coast.
Yeah, the Gambia is branded as a smiling coast.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I use to persuade and persuasion. Talking to people. Naturally, we are endowed with certain things that other countries don't have. We had the sun, we had the beach, very nice beach, and the water.
And friendly people as well.
Huh?
I said, and friendly people as well.
Friendly people,
yeah.
And these are things, and through that you persuade people. And then at the background, Jawara was known, the friendship with the world. So I use those things to tell the people that come to this country. At the time when there was war in Guinea-Bissau, in Liberia, most of those countries around us had problems, and the English couldn't go to Dakar because even whereas they go to, there was this language barrier. They cannot go to Guinea-Bissau. So I use that. I use this, and I had a good team. With a good team, you should be able to get anything you want.
So would you be able to tell me some of the people in your team?
Well, I had Sehtijania. Yes, he's still a lecturer. He has a school where he's lecturing tourism. I had D.A. Gaye. I had Mustafa Dabo, permanent secretary. Very determined, very articulate, very efficient. These were a number of Mrs. Jallo, for example. Jumaidi Jallo, the husband was also in tourism, and she was very effective. So I had a very selective, good team. And they helped me out. I had MBO Charm in the London office, because we had offices also in Europe. And we were using, Charm was the one in charge of London and some of those Scandinavian countries. And because he was effective, we were able to use the consuls, our offices. These are consulars. who were helping this country in some way or the other, promoting Gambia. Anything you need to know about Gambia, you go to those offices, they'll tell you. They too were very cooperative with our system. And with the team in London, the office in London, the marketing went through. And I tell you, wherever we go is a success, honestly. Marketing strategy worked very well.
So you were confirming to me that if the team is okay, even if you, the leader, if you're not available, they can still carry on whatever you start.
Certainly. Committed team, if you have it, you succeed. And I succeeded.
Yeah.
Greatly. Not only in terms of numbers, in terms of achieving other numbers of tourists coming, but wherever I go, I had an impact. With the women working me, the men working me, we are determined. Let's help. And we were all committed to what we are doing.
All right. What are some of the efforts you and your team made to showcase the country's culture?
Well, we have a very good history, traditionally. But also, we also have other facets, like the stone circles, James Island, Bufure, roots. These things made Gambia to be known outside, not by me or not by my campaign alone, but these things were there. The market was there, so it's only using it the appropriate way to get people attracted to them. As I said, this country was peaceful, and the tourists also want peace. Like you enjoy peace, they also enjoy peace. Well, relatively, their countries are fine. So if you want to go and enjoy yourself elsewhere in another country, you would want that place to be stable. There was stability. The stability factor was guaranteed. We had one problem. This is the bombsters. We had problems with bombsters because they also went inside the tourism, and they were harassing and hustling around tourists, disturbing them in their peace. They came here to enjoy. These boys were around to get something from them. That was a problem, yeah.
So how were you guys?
Well, we were able to get the army to come in. And that's why you have the Senegambian tourist police on the floor.
Yeah.
And they were helping us. Not being at places where they should not be, but we controlled it in such a way that they too had their strategies of how to control these crowds and to stop the boys disturbing the white people, the tourists.
Which European countries were you visiting?
Well, we are getting Scandinavian, UK predominantly. They were the majority. And Scandinavia, Sweden, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, Norway, they were all coming here.
Okay, UK mainly, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it because we are a British colonized country or what?
Probably yes.
Probably, yes.
Yes. And maybe there was no language barrier, and the attractions here were favorable to them. We had competitors. We had Spain competing against Gambia. We had other countries that we were competing.
Spain competing against Gambia?
Of course.
So are you telling me Gambia was that big in the tourism sector?
It's not a question of size. It's what you offer. If you look at the length of time, it's 6 hours to go to Spain, 6 hours to come to the Gambia. So we had this. The tourists also had taste. What is available in Gambia may not be available in Spain.
In Spain.
What they see in Spain, maybe here we had the flora and the fauna. You can watch the plants. In fact, that is one of the factors that we put in to make Gambia all the year-round tourism. Not only 3 months or 4 months. Because tourists come in October, by May it's finished. Hotels are closed, the employees have to sit down or negotiate with the companies, have salary. This thing was not good for the country. So we had to develop that concept. We had a big seminar here to make Gambia all-round tourism, because during the wet season now, everywhere is green. And those of them who like green things would want to come to the country and visit the garden. We had Benelux countries, Belgium and other countries. Those countries around Belgium were all eager to come here. They were all coming here. And then we had almost daily flight between here and Las Palmas. They come here the whole day. In the evening, they go back. So those flights were available. Tour operators, we had Gambia experience. I brought them here. I initiated them here, experience here, and even opened their London office for them during my time.
Oh. You
Gambia
mentioned
tours,
Black and White Safari, Gambia.
Black and White Safari, Gambia tours, Kobeka. They are doing very well, and we had few of them. Kairaba, Sonwing, Atlantic.
What impact has the country gained as a tourist destination, covering economic and social activities?
One of the benefits of tourism is to add up the revenue of a country, of your economy, to create employment. So employment creation was already, thousands of young people were employed by the industry. That's one benefit that we got. And 20% of the GDP was from tourism. So Gambia relied too much on tourism, because it is during this time that foreign exchange is available. So that also played a very important role. And this allowed people, other women and men, to go into the market to sell their products. Batik came about. Batik was popular those days. Chub was popular. So most of these people who wanted to make money were inside those markets. The craft market, the craftsmen, they were able to, the etakat was there. They were in every market. They made things, and the white man was interested in taking a souvenir home. So that's one of the impact we had.
The effect of all-inclusive tourism in the Gambia.
The all-inclusive was not very popular in this country. It may be of interest to the tour operator who brings the tourist, but they design in such a way that everything is paid to them. You come and enjoy the product, Everything is inside that hotel. All the things you want to do is inside the hotel. So the outsider is not enjoying. That's why it was never popular here. I don't know whether it's still going on, but if it is going on, it's not popular, because tourism should benefit everybody in the country, but not only the few. Those who bring in tourists were the ones enjoying. Most of the money goes back to them.
Well, were you promoting local tourism by then?
Well, that was one thing we wanted to do. I wish we could have done that. But we had planned for that. If you know the geography of the tourism was responsible for the land, 800 meters from the coast was designated to be the tourism development area. Well, I had control on that. So one of the areas that I marked at the beginning was Burfoot Heights. Burfoot Heights would have been enjoyed by people like you. We said this area must be designated to Gambians, workers, civil servants who would go and stay around the beach like any other hotel. That was done. We designated that area.
So what changed that?
Well, it's not me, it's the regime. I don't know. They developed the TDA. To develop the TDA, they needed money. I think that's one of the factors. Money was required to develop the Tourism Development Board. So they were selling part of the land in that area. That's why you have that development. Most of the land was sold to proprietors of those businesses. And that's how some of those buildings, if you go to Senegambia, you'll find nice buildings along the highway.
Yeah, sure.
The Tourism Development Project brought those development.
But don't you think you guys should have at least pushed it a bit? Even though you were somehow not in office, but those who were in office should have been guided to carry on with what you've started with.
It's all about memory. If you are in this job, like the job we are doing, you know the ins and outs of that job. But if you are not there, how can you play it? That's one problem that we had.
His story is a testament to to the power of vision, leadership, unwavering commitment to the betterment of a nation.